On the 18th of December 1944, during the height of the Battle of the Bulge, a brutal confrontation unfolded in the small Belgian village of Poteau. This German attack, known as the ambush at Poteau, exemplifies the intensity and chaos of the Ardennes offensive. Here, elements of the Waffen-SS Kampfgruppe Hansen launched a surprise attack against a US Army convoy from Task Force Maze, part of the 14th Cavalry Group. During World War II, 13 mechanized cavalry groups, each with 2 squadrons, fought in Europe. These US squadrons were organized as follows: 3 cavalry troops, lettered A to C, each equipped with 13 M8 armored cars or jeeps and an assault gun, a service company, and a headquarters company. These American cavalry groups were usually assigned to corps, but were occasionally attached to divisions. Cavalry was primarily intended for reconnaissance missions. However, during the war, they were usually employed in defensive, security, or screening missions. Armored field artillery, engineer, and tank destroyer units reinforced the cavalry groups for most of the missions. One of the 13 cavalry groups, the 14th Cavalry Group, was assigned to the 8th Corps in December of 1944. As they manned defensive positions along the German-Belgian border, the German forces in the Ardennes were preparing a full-scale attack that would test the 14th Cavalry Group's leadership. How they acquitted themselves over the first 3 days of the Battle of the Bulge has been a controversial subject for almost 70 years. The clash not only showcased the lethal precision of German armor tactics, but also underscored the desperate efforts of Allied forces to hold their ground in the face of an unexpected offensive. The Battle of the Bulge, which began on the 16th of December 1944, was a last-ditch effort by the German army to turn the tide of World War II on the Western Front. Hitler ordered a massive counteroffensive aimed at splitting the Allied lines, capturing the vital port of Antwerp, and trapping the Allied forces. Spearheading the offensive was the 6th Panzer Army. This army was to penetrate the American lines between Aachen and the Schnee-Eifel in order to seize the bridges over the Meuse River. The 6th Panzer Army, designated the 1st SS Panzer Division Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler, as the Mobile Strike Force under the command of SS Oberführer Wilhelm Mohnke. 4 combined arms battle groups composed the Leibstandarte Division. Probably the most well-known and notorious one was Kampfgruppe Peiper under the command of SS Obersturmbannführer Joachim Peiper. This was the best equipped battle group, which included the 501st Heavy Panzer Battalion equipped with the 17-ton Tiger II heavy tanks. Another, less well-known unit of the same division was Kampfgruppe Hansen, commanded by SS Sturmbannführer Max Hansen. Max Hansen joined the SS Vergnügungstruppe in 1933. In 1939, Hansen was the commander of the 12th Company in the Leibstandarte Division. From 1942, Hansen led the 2nd Battalion of the SS Panzergrenadier Regiment 1. With his unit, Hansen took part in the recapture of Kharkov, for which he was awarded the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross in March of 1943. Comprised primarily of armored vehicles, light tanks and reconnaissance troops, Kampfgruppe Hansen was tasked with quickly advancing through the Ardennes to disrupt American rear positions and clear the path for the main German advance. Task Force Maze was part of the US 14th Cavalry Group, a reconnaissance unit whose primary role was to monitor German movements in the Ardennes and relay information back to the Allied command. Task Force Maze was among the units ordered to screen the town of Poteau with limited heavy weaponry and armor and provide intelligence on the advancing German forces. Ill-prepared for a full-scale armored assault, they faced the daunting task of defending a critical position with limited support and under extreme conditions. On the foggy morning of the 18th of December, Kampfgruppe Hansen approached Poteau with a full array of armored half-tracks, motorcycles, and scout cars. The US forces had positioned themselves defensively, but the dense forests and heavy snowfall hampered visibility. Unaware of the scale of the approaching force, Task Force Maze was caught off guard by the swift German maneuver. The Germans exploited this, launching a devastating ambush on the American convoy. As the Germans opened fire, chaos ensued. Kampfgruppe Hansen's armored vehicles fired upon the vulnerable American jeeps and trucks, and with little armor of their own, Task Force Maze was unable to mount an effective defense. The American soldiers were left scrambling for cover amidst intense gunfire, with many casualties among both men and vehicles. Some attempted to retreat, but the Germans had cut off escape routes, leaving Task Force Maze with no choice but to fight or to be overrun. The Germans captured several American vehicles and weapons in the ambush, taking photographs that would later become some of the most famous and widely circulated images of the Battle of the Bulge. These photos, showing abandoned American equipment and grim-faced German soldiers inspecting the battlefield, were used by German propagandists to portray the German success in the Ardennes offensive. However, the images also became a stark reminder for the Allies of the grim challenges faced in holding the line against a determined and well-coordinated enemy force. The ambush at Poteau had a significant psychological impact on both sides. For the Allies, it underscored the intensity and ferocity of the German offensive, particularly the skill of the Waffen-SS units like Kampfgruppe Hansen in using surprise and terrain to devastating effect. For the Germans, the ambush was a temporary success, but it also highlighted the difficulty of sustaining momentum in the face of strong Allied resistance, as they soon encountered counterattacks and supply issues. Although a tactical success for the Germans, the ambush at Poteau did not ultimately alter the outcome of the Ardennes offensive. Within weeks, Allied forces regrouped and launched counterattacks that pushed the German forces back, ending Hitler's final gamble in the West. However, the ambush remains one of the iconic moments of the Battle of the Bulge, capturing the deadly cat-and-mouse warfare that characterized the campaign. Today, the ambush at Poteau is studied as an example of the impact of reconnaissance and armor tactics, and it serves as a reminder of the importance of adaptability and readiness in warfare. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want to support my channel, check out the PayPal donation link in the description or consider becoming a member. To make sure you don't miss my future work, subscribe to my channel please and press the bell notification button. Thank you and see you in the next video.